now specific, right? So specificity speaks to a detailed explanation or a detailed description of the goal that you want to achieve, right? So that's the first thing. Specificity talks about you describing it to the tiniest detail, right? The next thing there is M, which speaks to measurable, right? So when it comes to a goal measurable, it can either be that you are measuring by virtue of quantitative analysis or you are measuring by qualitative analysis. Quantitative talks about numbers. I want to read 5 books, right? When you say you want to read 5 books, the measurable there is 5, and that is you talking to numbers. But I can also say that I want to read 5 books, right, on financial management, and at the end of it, I want to have learned how to save my money. Now, if I say I want to learn how to save my money by reading 5 books, right? Now, follow me closely. Now, this is getting interesting. Now, if I say I want to read 5 books, right, in financial management, that can be measurable relative to numbers, but it will not be measurable in numbers based on what I will learn. The only way I can measure knowledge impacted to me will be by the volume of what I have learned, and that is qualitative. So when you are talking about measuring your goal, you will be measuring it from 2 angles, from a numerical angle relative to the number, and then from a qualitative angle relative to the quality of what you have been able to achieve. So take for instance, organizing this webinar by knowledge exchange, right, can be measured as, oh, is it class O? Yes, it held, right? And we had total number of people in the class. That would be a quantitative measurement. But the qualitative measurement for them will be what knowledge impacted, and that can only be measured by a certain kind of survey at the end of the day. So when we're talking about measuring your performance relative to the goals that you have set, you as an individual, you are going to say, okay, am I going to be measuring this goal from a quantitative angle alone, or am I going to be measuring this goal from a qualitative angle? Now, in a bit, I'm going to be telling us how or at what point we begin to talk about qualitative and quantitative measurement. Because, when it comes to goal setting, there are some things that we need to understand, and I'm going to get there in a bit. Now, that is for measurement. The next thing that we talk about is achievable, right? SASMA. Now, we're talking about achievable. The achievability of a goal, saying that, do I have what it takes to achieve this goal? Going by my standing, going by, what I have and all of those things, can I achieve this goal? So if I say that I want to read 5 books in a day, the question is, can I achieve reading 5 books in a day? The test of whether it is achievable or not then begins to talk about the resources I have at my disposal. So if I say that, I want to have 50 million at the end of the month, the question is, what are the resources I have at my disposal that will make it achievable for me? Do I have the time? Do I have the knowledge? Do I have the competence and all of those things? That is what is made. That is what we mean when we are talking about it being achievable. Right. Now, achievability and it being realistic, there is a bit of overlap in those things. Because when we're talking about your goal being realistic, is that when you mention it, we go, that thing is not realistic now. It's almost like somebody that have not made 1,000 naira in a month before, and then suddenly the person comes and tell you that, oh, I want to make 100 million in 1 month. Definitely would say that that is not a realistic goal. So your goal being realistic is that when you look at it and you look at where you are today and where you say you want to go, in your mind, it sounds like something that you can actually achieve. So it becomes really realistic. And then the third thing is that it is time bound. T stands for time bound. So there is a specific time for which you want to achieve the goal. So remember that the first thing is S, which stands for specific, and specific talks about you describing that goal or defining that goal to the tiniest detail, right? The next thing is that it is what? Measurable. Measurable in this case, I spoke about it in two ways: quantitative measurement and qualitative measurement. The third thing is that it is achievable, right? Achievable in the sense that when you look at the resources that you have, it is something that is within your reach and you can then achieve it. It is realistic in terms of when you look at where you are today, the difference between, the distance between where you are today and what you're trying to reach, it is still within the reach of something you can get to, and then we can say that it is realistic. And then the final thing is that it is time bound. It is time bound. Now, when it comes to, so there's something else I want to really talk about, right? When it comes to, so I'm going to be in this definition of, or in this smart whatever, I'm going to be paying attention to specific, I'm going to be paying attention to realistic, right? For some reason. Now, when it comes to goals, the first thing that when I was talking about it being specific, I mentioned the fact that apart from the fact that you are speaking to, you are defining it in the tiniest detail. So the question is, what are the things, when you are talking about a goal being specific, what the question you are going to ask yourself is, what are the things I'm going to see? What are the things am I going to, what am I going to see that would make me know that I have achieved this goal, right? What am I going to hear? What am I going to taste? What am I going to hear? So you should be able to describe that thing to the way that it appeals to your five sense organs. So, for example, by the time I achieve my goal of 50 million naira by the end of 2021, for instance, what are the things that I'm going to see? Am I going to see that money in my account? Or am I going to see that I've purchased a particular kind of car? Or am I going to see what are the specific things that you're going to see that will confirm to you as a person that you've been able to achieve your goal? Take, for instance, on this platform today, there are specific things that knowledge experts will see that will make them know that, oh, we achieved our goal for putting this program together, right? There are certain things that they are going to hear. There are feedback that you guys are going to give, there are words that when you people say that knowledge experts will know that, oh, yes, truly, we have been able to achieve our goal. So what are the things you are going to see? What are the things that you are going to hear that will make you know that you have achieved your goal, right? What are those things that maybe it is, I don't know, maybe for the goal that you're trying to achieve, there's something that you're going to smell. Maybe there's something you're going to touch and feel that will make you know that, you have been able to achieve this goal. The more you are able to describe this goal to its tiniest detail, the easier it becomes for you to achieve, right? The more you are able to describe your goals to the tiniest detail, right, the more possible it becomes for you to translate from something really abstract into something really specific and tangible, something you can hold, something that you can describe, something that you can visualize, you can picture in your mind's eye. See, the moment you close your eyes and if your goal is not forming a picture in your mind, that is to let you know that that goal is not specific enough, right? And the moment a picture cannot be formed in your mind, there is no way your body can pursue it. There is no way you can create activities that will translate to achievement, right? So the most important thing when it comes to goal setting is that your goal must be specific. described to the tiniest detail, right? So if you are there and you think that you have set certain goals for this year, the question is, when you close your eyes and you picture it, is there a picture that comes to your mind? If you don't have that picture, chances are high that that goal is not specific enough. Right? Do we understand that? So that's the first thing that we need to understand. Now, the second thing I then need us to understand is that we need to be able to draw a line of distinction between what is called the means goal and the end goal, right? Somebody's not hearing me here today. You need to understand the difference between what is called a means goal and the end goal. So I will describe that for us in a bit. The end goal, the major thing that you want to achieve, right? So let me give you an example. Agogo, are you there? Agogo, are you there?
I can hear you. Yes,
okay,
yes.
Great. I want to put you on the spot, if you don't mind. I want to ask you a particular question.
Okay.
So why did Knowledge Exchange decide to host this webinar? Why?
Okay, one of the reasons why we hosted this seminar is because we know that at the beginning of the year, you hear a lot of people talking about goal setting. However, we discovered that majority of the people do not really know how to set and also execute, because it's a two component. One is setting the goals, the other one is executing the goals. So we find that this is a large a challenge for people, and we wanted to do it the first month of the year so that people can end their year achieving most of their goals.
Okay, great. Now, what you would discover is that Agogo has even, he has spoken about the two goals that I'm talking about here. Now, the first one is the end goal. The reason why they put this together is because they wanted to empower people to have more results at the end of the year, right? That is the end goal. So what would be, so for this particular goal, the end goal of helping people or empowering people to have better results at the end of the year can only be measured in its fullness for them by the end, right? So for that particular end goal, hosting this webinar is a means goal, right? Now, reaching out to me as a facilitator is a means goal. Creating a sign-up page is a means goal. Promoting the event and ensuring that people sign up, having a particular number of sign-up is a means goal. So what you would discover is that for a single end goal, you would have tons of means goals. The challenge most of the time is that a lot of people are caught in the web of means goal without understanding the end goal that they really desire. So instead of people pursuing end goals, people are actually pursuing means goals, right? So take for instance, a lot of people then are full of activities that have not been able to translate to anything significant in their life. If you look at your life in 2020, 2019, 2018, you probably see that you involved yourself in a lot of activity. You probably toiled a lot. You probably put in a lot of work. You probably exerted yourself. But the challenge is that, or was that, you did not have a commensurate result relative to the amount of effort that went into it. The reason is simple. There is a gap between your means goal and your end goal. So this is why I say, for everything that you're trying to achieve, you need to clarify, is this a means goal or is this an end goal? Is it a means goal or is it an end goal? The moment you are able to draw a line of distinction between the two, then it begins to make more sense to you. And this is what I generally say to people, that what you need to do is to be rigid about your end goal, but very flexible about your means goal. Let me say that again. Our posture should be that we are rigid about the end goal, but we are flexible about the means goal. Right. So for you as a person, do you know the difference between your means goal and your end goal? Let me use something that is really very simple and straightforward. Let's assume that I'm traveling to Ibadan, right, for a function. Going to Ibadan for the function is my end goal. Going through Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is a means goal. So, I can decide that, I want to go through Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. I can decide that, I want to go through the Expressway. I can decide that, I want to go through Sango Abeokuta Expressway. At the end of the day, what is mostly important is for me to get to Ibadan. Now, but for some people, right, they now say that, I want to go to Ibadan, and the route I want to use is Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. But they get to Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, there is a lot of traffic on it. Instead of them to turn back and go and use an alternate route, they will say, no, I am not going to change my route. This is the only route that will take me to Ibadan. Now, after a while, having tried severally, and the road is not leading them to Ibadan, instead of them changing their route, they will then cancel the goal. So a lot of people over the years have sacrificed their end goal simply because of the means goals that are not working. Instead of them to sacrifice means goals because of the end goal, they end up sacrificing their end goals because of their means goals. My question to you today is, have you been sacrificing your end goal? In fact, the first question is, do you even know your end goal? Now, remember that at the beginning of the class, when I was talking about specificity, I explained that specificity speaks to, number one, numerical measurement, which is quantitative, and then qualitative. Majority of the time, means goals are measured on quantitative basis, whereas end goals are measured by qualitative basis. End goals are meant to change or improve the quality of our lives. Means goals are just numerical achievements that when we stack them on top of each other, it would give us our end goal. So let me give an example. I'm sure for knowledge exchange, there was a particular number of people that they wanted to register for. So they say that our end goal is that we want to empower people, to achieve more results at the end of the year. So for us to do that, what do we need to do? We need to organize a goal setting and execution session. For that goal setting and execution session to be a success, what do we need to do? We need to have 500 people in class. Okay, for us to have 500 people in class, what do we need to do? We need to have 1,000 people register. Okay, for us to have 1,000 people register, what do we need to do? We need to pick a facilitator that we think can do justice to this course. And when people see, they will say, this person can do justice to it. For us to be able to do that, what do we need to do? We need to create our communication material and run promotion. What you notice is that, from that end goal, we started creating multiple means goals. Now, the achievement of one means goal will bring us to the next means goal. The achievement of the next will bring us to the next. The achievement of the next will move us to the next. It's almost like somebody that wants to get to the top of a building and then decides to put a ladder on the wall. Your means goals are like ladders. Your means goals are like steps on the ladder that will take you to the top of the ladder. So think of your end goal as the top of the ladder. Think of the means goal as the steps on the ladder. The reason why a lot of people don't achieve their end goal is simply because they have not created the steps that are required. So it is almost as though they are taking a big jump, from the bottom of the building, they want to jump to the top of the building. Your main goals are like the steps that will take you there. The question is, have you been able to create enough main goals that will make your journey to your end goal systemic and progressive? Right. So that is the next thing that people need to understand. So when it then comes to end goals, this end goal that we're talking about, how are we supposed to go about them? One of the things I've come to realize is that a lot of people set goals, that do not create balance in their lives, right? Let me say that again. A lot of people set goals that do not create balance in their lives. So if you look at them, you will notice that their life is lopsided. Their life is lopsided. Their life is lopsided. So one area of their life is doing really well, and then some other areas of their lives are really suffering. So for me, I believe that everybody in this life should set goals around certain areas of life. I call this the key functional areas of the human life. I'm going to run through them quickly. The first area of life that anybody needs to set goals around will be significance. Significance speaks to living a life of purpose, where you are able to understand that at the end of the day, this is the way I want to impact. This is the way I want to live a life of meaning. This is the way I want to leave legacy here when I am gone. It is in significance that we have the highest burst of satisfaction, that we have the highest burst of fulfillment, that we have the highest burst of pleasure in ourselves for living on planet Earth. The question is, have you been able to identify the areas of life in which you want to live a life of significance? How do you want to be beneficial? How do you want to impact your next neighbor? How do you want to contribute in your small community? How do you want to contribute in your church? How do you want to contribute in your mosque? How do you want to contribute in your workplace? At the end of the day, what results are you going to put on the table that people will be able to say, oh, every time we remember this person, we remember this as the result that they brought to this world. That is what setting goals around significance looks like. So in 2021, for you as a person, how do you want to live a life of significance? How do you want to contribute? How do you want to impact? That is the first area of life that anybody right. That's the first area of life that people need to set goals around. Are we learning too? This room is quiet, so please, if there's anything, please drop comments in the comment section. Please, this room is so quiet. I'm already feeling cold. Please, I want this place to be us. Let's just be dropping it. If you have any questions, drop in the comment section. If there's anything I'm saying that is resonating with you, please feel free to drop them in the comment section. I even want to see, what have you learned so far? Quickly, anybody, what have you learned so far? Please drop it in the comment section. I want to be sure that we are not just ticking the box, that we are actually impacting knowledge as much as we should on this platform here today. So please drop in the comment section. What have you? Agogo, are you trying to talk to me?
Yes.
Okay, please.
Okay. So I would just like to make some few comments based on what you have just said. And to me, what you just described before you started talking about the various aspects of our life is the missing gap when it comes to execution. Because I've noticed that setting goal could be much easier, but the execution, one of the reasons why people struggle with execution is that means goal. People do not take time to now say, what are the steps that will help me achieve my goals? So if you say, okay, people are saying set goals. This year I want to make 10 million. I want to hammer make 10 million.
The point is, how would you make the 10 million?
How would you make the 10 million? So the work, the discipline is in sitting down and really thinking through those means goals that will help you to achieve your actual, the end goal. And that to me is a very big one in terms of execution.
Thank you so much for that, Agogo. In fact, towards the end of so I'm going to be giving a framework or a template of sorts that we are going to be using to convert, that would help us in converting our, I say moving from goal setting to goal getting, So I'm going to be giving us a template that we're going to be using, when it comes to moving from, so you set your goal, how do you ensure that you get it, But there are a number of things I want to just touch on before I come to that point, right? So please, if you have anyway, whatever it is that you are learning, kindly drop it in the comment section so that we can know that we are not just speaking to ourselves, but hey, people are there, learning and learning and learning and learning and learning and learning. Because at the end of the day, it is all about learning and commitment to execution. It's all about learning and commitment to execution. So I'm going to continue, but please drop comments for me in the comment section. I want to be sure that you are not here alone. It's not just me and Agogo, right? Thank you so much. So the second area of life that we need to set goals around will be our finances. Finances. The truth of the matter is that whatever resources, whatever you want to achieve in this life, at some point you are going to need money. In fact, one of the things I spoke about recently, right, is the fact that there are 4 major currencies that you can use in getting anything you want in this life. The first currency is time. For everybody, the first thing you will forever have in this world is time. As you are given birth to, you are endowed with, plenty time. So anything you want to achieve in this life, first of all, you exchange time for it. The second thing we are blessed with in this life as currency is relationship. Right? By virtue of the family you have given birth to, the first relationship you have will be with your parents and your siblings, your cousins, your nephews, and all of those things. The moment you start going to school, your relationship begins to expand to your peers, to your colleagues, to your teachers, and all of those things. And then as you go through life, you begin to build and increase that relationship currency. The third currency that people have in this life, I've spoken about time, I've spoken about relationship, right? The next thing you have is knowledge. As you go through life, exchanging, so the first thing you exchange time for is knowledge. As you are living and you are dying every day, you are gaining knowledge and gaining knowledge and gaining knowledge, right? And then the fourth and final currency is money, right? Before you start making money, you would have exchanged time for knowledge, you would have exchanged time for relationship. And then the combination of these 3 things would give you the money that you have. The moment you now begin to have more money, you can now use your money to improve the quality of your knowledge. You can now use your money to improve the quality of your relationship. And you can now use your money to improve the quality of your time usage. The moment you improve the quality of this thing, you improve the quality of your time, you improve the quality of your knowledge, you improve the quality of your relationship, automatically you empower yourself to make more money, right? Because see, I was thinking about it the other day that there are a number of people I'm trying to build relationships with and all of that. And I was saying it to myself that in 2021, one of the things that you must master is that you need to master the art of giving things a lot. I want to become a better giver in 2021. Better giver of items, gift items, better giver of food. Imagine that you just come to somebody's office and you just go with a 3-decker pizza. I just come, how is work going? I just came to greet you. You can enjoy this with your friends in the office. What have you done? You have made a deposit in that relationship and you have improved the quality of that relationship, making it easier for you to leverage it tomorrow. The reason why a lot of people have depleted on their relationship competency, relationship currency, is because they have not renewed it over time. You have collected from that relationship, and the relationship is almost looking like a parasitic one. Now it's time for you to use the little money you have to refurnish that relationship so that it becomes better for you to leverage later in the future, right? So those are the 3 things that you keep, the 4 things that you keep rolling around: relationship, money, time, and knowledge. The more you roll those things around, the more results you would have in your life. Right. So that was an aside. It's not part of necessarily part of what I was going to talk about today, but I just thought that it's important I share that. So coming back to the areas of life that you need to set goals on. The second one, like I said, is your finance, right? Because at the end of the day, you would need your money to keep rolling on the other three currencies that you need to achieve any result in life. So the question is, how much money do you want to make? How much money do you want to make? Right. The third area of life that you need to set goals around would be in your career. Career in this place is not necessarily speaking to a 9 to 5, but it covers anything that gives you the opportunity to exchange your value for some kind of reward. It can be your business, it can be your 9 to 5, but whatever you have chosen as your area of competency through which you exchange value for money is your career. Right. So the question is, what level do you want to get to in your career? You need to set goals around it. Right? Do you want to become the #1 person in your industry? Do you want to become whatever it is? Do you want to get certain level of promotion this year? Do you understand? So you need to be able to set goals around your career. Right? That's the third area. The next area that you need to set goals around would be your relationship. What kind of people do you want to bring into your life intentionally this year? See, a lot of us, if you look at your relationship, you cannot say that this person I brought into my life intentionally because I want to get this quality. No, majority of us, if we sit down and analyze our relationship, you will notice that the people that are in your life, they came in anyhow, they left anyhow, and then your life is so porous that people are just coming and entering. People are just coming and entering. It's almost like your life is not gated. You are not the one giving access to people either to come in or to go out. And that is not a good place to be. When it comes to relationship, you need to be the gatekeeper, where you are the one determining that, oh, there is this guy that I've seen that I would love to be friends with. And then you intentionally furnish that relationship, right? So for that, you need to set goals. But when it comes to relationship, there are three ways that we need to look at relationships. The first one is the quality of relationship that exists between you and your family. Between you and your family. When I speak about family in this way, I am referring to the family that gave birth to you as a person. So the relationship that exists between you and your siblings, the relationship that exists between you and your parents. The question is, relative to where you are now, is that relationship satisfactory to you as a person? The second thing that we need to look at when we're talking about, setting goals for relationship is the relationship between you and your significant other, or for people that are married, relationship between you and your spouse or your nuclear family. That is the second kind of relationship where you are looking at it. Is my home a safe haven? Is my relationship a safe haven? Do I feel a sense of connection with this person that I've decided to share my life with? Do I have a good relationship with my kids, right? And all of those things. That is one area of life that you need to set, your goals around in 2021. The third thing that you need to pay attention to when it comes to relationship is the relationship you have with your friends, And I spoke about that earlier when I was talking about you being intentional about the people that come into your life and the people that leave it, right? And I also believe that even in that area, you should have three kinds of friends. People that are below you, that are looking up to you. Now, when you have people that are looking up onto you, they automatically keep you on your toes because you want to keep moving so that you can always be inspiration to them. The people that are above you, these kind of people are the people that give you a picture of what is possible. They keep you inspired because every time you look at them, it's okay. If they have done it, I can also do it. These are role models. These are mentors. People that you submit yourself to either by way of service or by way of whatever to ensure that you are daily learning from them. And the third category of friends that you should have will be the same people that are on the same level that you are stretching it together. You are working on it together. You are laboring together so that when your strength is little, they will give you support. When your strength is failing you, they will give you support. And you can also do the same for them. The reason why a lot of people fail in the days of adversity is because they don't have good support systems. My question to you is that have you been able to set goals around your relationship from these three areas? Relationship with your family, relationship with your nuclear family or significant other, and your relationship with your friends. And when it comes to friendship relationship, have you been able to divide it into these three clusters, where you have the people below you that are looking up to you and they are coaching and they are mentoring and they are giving inspiration to, the people at the same level with you that you are stretching it together, and then the people that are above you that you are looking up to for counsel, for advice, and for mentorship. So that is the way to set relationship around your, that's the way to set goals around your relationship. So before I move on, I want to be sure that we are learning. What are the areas of life that I said we should set goals around already? I want us to drop it in the comment section quickly. The areas that I've touched on, we need to set goals around already. Please drop your comments in the comment section so I can know that no, I'm not just talking to myself, but that we are learning together. Quickly. Quickly, everybody, quickly. I'm waiting. If I don't see comments dropping, I'm not going to proceed. I'm waiting. First of all, can I be a little bit audible? MN says keep going. I said I'm not moving on until I can see comments telling us the different areas that all of the things, okay, areas of significance, finance, career, relationship. Thank you so much, Anthony, for sharing. With Monitola says relationship. Person says I'm with my colleagues here, Obina Chidoke and Inaemeka. Okay. Dolako says significant, career, finances, relationship. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. At least I know that we are getting that. So let me quickly move on. Now, the next area of life that we need to set goals around is our fun and recreation. Fun and recreation. The question is, what does fun look like to you? And I'm going to explain it in a particular way. So what fun is to me might be different from what fun is to you. But at the end of the day, the idea is that when you go through that thing that you call fun and recreation, it must recreate your energy. Such that if you are working and you are already depleted and you're feeling tired and exhausted, if you engage in that activity and you come back out, you feel empowered to do so much more. That is what fun and recreation looks like. I see people say, oh, thank God it's Friday, and then they go to the bar and then they down 6, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 bottles. They take several shots of tequila and all of those things. And then by Saturday morning, they are having hangover. That's one is not fun and recreation. That's you depleting yourself for that. Because the idea is that when you finish a fun and recreational activity, you must be ready to engage back with work at 100%. So whatever you do that reduces your ability to engage with work 100% is not fun and recreation. That's another total waste of your time or total usage of your energy again. Right. So that is what it is. Now, the next area that people need to set goals around would be, health and fitness. The question is, are you fit as a person? Do you feel healthy? Right? If your goal requires that you run from here to wherever, can you complete that journey without feeling exhausted? If your goal requires that you don't get sleep enough for 2-3 days, do you have enough fortitude within your body to sustain you? That is the question when we're talking about health and fitness. Are you strong physically? Is your health strong enough to sustain sustain you, and for all of these things, there are certain things that you can do, to increase your vitality, to increase your tenacity and your long suffering, because there are some of these goals that will really require that you suffer long. Right. And then the final area of life that you need to focus on and pay attention to when setting your goals would be personal development. Personal development. Let me say this at this point. See, there are a lot of people that as of today, they are not good for the goals that they have set. Their goals are fantastic and amazing, but they as a person, they are not good for their goals. There is no way they are going to achieve that goal if they continue operating at the level at which they are operating. So for you, it's almost like somebody that says that he wants to earn, he wants to increase his earning from 1 million naira per month to 20 million naira per month, right? And this person has not improved his capacity as a person. There is nothing that you do, no matter, work from now to run from pillar to post, go to Mount Everest and take the best of prayers. That is not going to happen because you as a person, you are not good for your goals. So a lot of people are struggling with execution and achieving their goals simply because they are not fit for their goal. Let me give you an example. Now, today, arguably, we can say that maybe Ronaldo is one of the best strikers in the world as of today. But imagine that we now say that because Ronaldo is very good with football, right? We want him to come and compete with Roger Federer in tennis, and we still expect him to win. Imagine that Ronaldo says that my goal for 2021 is to become the world champion in tennis, where I would defeat the likes of Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, and then and Djokovic, right? And all of those people. There is no out, because even though that goal is a good goal, even though they are both in the same sports industry, right? The competencies that are required for one goal is different from the competencies that are required for the other goal. So one of the things we need to pay attention to when it comes to thinking about execution of our goals is to say, am I good for my goals? For some of us, our goals require that we are a lot more tenacious. For some of us, our goals require that we become somebody that is patient. For some of us, our goals require that we are a lot more articulate in communication. For some of us, our goals require that we are more vibrant. For some of us, our goals require that we understand simple calculation and mathematics. For some of us, our goals might require that we learn how to speak another language. For some of us, our goals might just require that we become a totally different person. So a lot of people are struggling with achieving their goals today because they are not fit for their goals. Right. So let me give an example. Somebody says that, I want you to sell so amount of my product. But when it comes to sales, they are just terrible salespeople. No matter how much effort, go out there every day, be knocking on people's door. As long as you are not communicating, as long as you're not communicating your value the right way, as long as you are not prospecting and pitching the right way, as long as you don't understand what sales is all about, you would struggle and you will not achieve that goal. All that you will do is that you will be full of activities without result. So at this point, personal developmental goals are saying that what kind of person do I need to become for me to be able to achieve every other goal of my life? And then you begin to set personal developmental goals to becoming the kind of person that can produce the kind of result that your life really desires. For some of us, the reason why we cannot achieve certain goals is because we have poor mindsets, we have wrong mindsets, we have poor belief system. Our belief systems are so bad that no matter how you try, you would forever want sabotaging the goals by yourself. Have you seen somebody build a beautiful house before and by themselves, they pull it down? That is exactly the same way majority of us are behaving, simply because of our mindset and our belief system. So for you to be able to achieve your goals, you need to set your goals around what? Personal development. Personal development. So let me run through the areas of life that I said we need to set goals around again so that we are clear. The first one is significance. The second one is your career, your finance. The third one is your career. The fourth one is relationship. The fifth one is fun and recreation. The sixth one is your health and your fitness. And then the seventh one is personal development. Now, for each of these 7 clusters, you need to set your end goal. Now, generally, I like to advise people that you should not set more than one end goal for each of these clusters over a yearly period or a quarterly period, depending on what you're trying to achieve per time. It's either you are doing it as a quarter or you are doing it as annually, that you have now broken down into quarterly goals and all of those things, right? So, and that is the way to go about it, right? Those are the 7 areas of life that you need to set goals around. Now, the next thing that I want to speak about when it comes to goal setting and ensuring that you are achieving your goals is creating supportive goals. Supportive goals. Now, supportive goals are not goals that you have business facing originally. So let me give you a very good example. So right now, I'm going to wrap up on goal quickly so that we can move to time and task, so that from there we can now wrap it up and then I can take question and answer. Because I just realized that we have done 1 hour 20 minutes here already out of our 2 hours, right? So let me give a very practical example of setting supportive goals. Remember at the beginning of this class, I said I have a membership program where my goal is to have a certain number of people, right, go through the program on a monthly basis. Now, for that to happen, I noticed that there is, I need to have, so this is the way this thing goes, and I'm going to explain a bit. I need to have digital marketing competencies where I understand setting up platforms and all of those things, and all of those things that are necessary for me to achieve that goal. Now, originally, I don't need to have that as a goal. But because I had discovered that for me to achieve that goal, there are certain things that I need to bring together that would support the other goal that I want to achieve, then it became important for me to come up with supporting goals. So there are times that, for you to achieve a certain goal, either a means goal or an end goal, you need to come up with supporting goals. The little tiny things that when you get done, would make you to be able to achieve better results. So take for instance, if you want to become more productive, a supporting goal can be ensuring that your workspace is tidy, so that when you are looking for a document, you are not wasting a lot of time. You already know how you've done your filing system, and it's easy for you to bring it up. Filing system, creating a filing system or an organized filing system is a supporting goal for increasing your productivity. So for all of your goals, either the main end goal or the means goal, you need to ask yourself, what are the supporting goals that I need to come up with? The moment you begin to come up with those goals and you begin to do them, you begin to create an enabling environment for your goals. Now, the next thing I want to talk about when it comes to execution and achieving goals is that a lot of people that cannot achieve their goals simply because they are not properly planted, right? They are planted in an environment that is full of accomplices, and they do not have enablers. I'm going to explain what that means. So accomplices are anything that makes the achievement of your goals a lot more difficult for you to achieve. Whereas enablers are the things around you that makes it a lot more easier for you to achieve your goals. So let me give you an example. So for health and fitness, for me as a person, one of the things I'm trying to do this year is to reduce my easy drink consumption, right? And then I got into an agreement with a friend of mine that on a daily basis is going to check up on me to say, Mr. Focus, have you taken Coke today? No, yes. Just so I am accountable to her for that. And we came to an agreement that, see, I am only entitled to taking just one bottle of Coke per week, right? Either Coke or Pepsi, whichever one goes. Now, but at the end of it must not be more than one per week. Now, but the interesting thing is that, I have a number of people in my house that are also heavy consumers of Pepsi and Coke and all of that. So when I'm saying that I want to stop drinking Pepsi or Coke, there are people in the house that are still interested in drinking Pepsi or Coke. So because they are interested, they will still buy this Pepsi or Coke and put in the fridge. Now, that is where it gets interesting. So the people in my house, right, because they would always put Pepsi and Coke in the fridge, they have become accomplices relative to the goal I'm trying to achieve. But imagine if, when I said, okay, I want to reduce my Coca-Cola consumption or my, something like that, they also say, oh, that's a great idea. Let's reduce it together. And as I'm trying to reduce it, they're also trying to reduce it. And we are on that journey of achieving that goal of reducing fizzy drink consumption together. They will become enabler for that goal. The reason why a lot of people struggle with the achievement of their goals is because they have planted themselves in the midst of accomplices instead of planting themselves in the midst of enabler. Right. So what am I trying to say here? It is important that you ensure that you create enough enablers around you. Who are the people that if you bring into your space, they will make it a lot more easier for you to achieve your goals. So take, for instance, you want to increase your space, that's your goal for the year. But you have a friend that is a spend sheet. Everywhere you go, let's start buy something. Everywhere you go, this guy wants to buy something. And every time the person is buying something, you also feel the need to buy something relative to the goal you are trying to achieve. That person is an accomplice and not an enabler. So for you to be able to achieve your savings goal, you need to approach yourself from that person and plant yourself among the people that are interested in achieving the same result that you are trying to achieve, so that you guys can journey together towards achievement. But one of the things I've also come to realize is that the same person that is an enabler for a particular goal can also become an accomplice for another goal. So, for example, let's say I want to increase how much of exercise I do on a daily basis, and I get this guy that will decide that he wake me up at 5:30 and we are going to run together, right? We run a certain distance together, back and forth every morning. So this guy, notice, is my enabler for exercising, right? But at the same time, every time we go out on this run, the way the guy hydrates himself, instead of taking water, the guy would rather buy Coke and Pepsi. What that means is that this guy, even though he's an enabler for my exercising, he has also become an accomplice for my reduction of fizzy drink consumption. So you need to sit down and do this analysis by yourself. Who are the accomplices that I have? Who are my enablers? What are those things within my space that makes it difficult for me to achieve my goals? I generally say this in a funny and playful way, that if you say you want to read more this year, then the space of your house that you have created for reading becomes an enabler for reading. Imagine somebody says that, oh, I want to increase my volume of study in 2021. Yet you don't have a study area. How would you be able to study, right? Here you want to study, but you go to your bed and you lie down your bed. What you generally find is that the moment you lie down that bed, people just come over you, right? Your bed has become an accomplice relative to you wanting to study a lot more, right? So the question is, what are the structural adjustments that you need to make within your environment that will make it a lot more easier for you to achieve your goals? That is the next thing, I want to talk about related to that. So we've spoken about what goals are. We've spoken about the difference between end goals and means goals. We've spoken about, the different areas of life that you need to set goals around, right? I've spoken about creating supporting goals. I've spoken about, creating enablers for your goals and removing accomplices so that you can be able to achieve your goals. Now, at this point, I'm going to be talking about time and all of that. Sorry, are people still here? Because everybody's video is turned off, and it's almost like I'm on a world of my own. Hello, anybody here? Okay, Tiger, thank you so much for turning on your video.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, such a
We're here.
Okay.
We're here.
Are we learning?
Definitely.
Sure, we are learning.
Okay. Thank you for who said we are here. I want to be sure who that person is.
Bethel.
Okay. Thank you so much, Bethel. Thank you so much, Jason, for dropping the comment in the comment section as you are listening. Thank you, Tiger, for turning on your video. Please, guys, show me love. Don't let's make this place so cold, right? All right. So there's one thing I want to say to us about time, right? That I believe would change the way we think about it, and it will significantly change the trajectory of our life. Now, before I go on, let me quickly ask, has anybody here heard about the Pareto's principle before? The Pareto's principles before? If you have, just drop yes in the comment section. If you have heard about the Pareto's principle before, drop yes for me. Yes. Quickly. Yeah, the 80-20 rule. Thank you, Jason. Anybody else? Have you heard about the Pareto's principle before? That says that 20% of what you do produces 80% of your results, and then 80% of your activities produces just 20% of your results. So what that principle says is that if you want to become a high performer and you want to have massive results, identify the 20% that is responsible for the 80% of your results. The moment you focus on those 20%, you will be using your time in a more productive way, and then you'll be getting the maximum result. The challenge, however, is that most people, are focused on the 80% that is only producing 20% of results. So they are full of activity, but producing the tiniest results possible. So the reason why I'm bringing that up right now is because I remember that at the beginning of this class, Dominic, mentioned that, the reason why I have not sat down to set goals is because he doesn't have time and all of those things. But the question is, do you know that sitting down to actually set your goals and break them down is actually the 20% that will produce the 80%? So if you understand that goal setting is one of the 20% that is capable of producing the 80%, you will not sacrifice that 20% work for the 80% work that can only produce 20% result. So speaking about time, one of the things that I've come to understand about time is that time is the commodity with which you would achieve any result in this life. At the beginning of this class, I spoke about the 4 currencies that anybody is blessed with in this world to achieve any result. And what you will notice is that time is the first thing that anybody is blessed with in this world. All that you are today is encapsulated in how you have used time. The same way, all that you would ever become is encapsulated in time. So time is the currency with which we achieve anything in this life. You trade your time for money, you trade your time for relationships, you trade your time for knowledge. Take for instance, as you are here right now, for those that pay to be in this class, you are paying for this class in two ways. You are paying for it with your money, and then you are also paying for it with your time. The unfortunate thing, however, is that a lot of people are so conscious of the money they are paying for things without understanding that they're actually paying time equally. Now, should I tell you the truth? Is that out of the two things you are always paying, either time or money, time is the most precious. The reason is because you can always make more money, but you cannot make more time, right? Let me say that again. You can always make more money, but you cannot make more time, because the time you are blessed with in this world is fixed and finite. It's fixed and finite, right? And one of the things I like to say to people is that every passing time is a dying time. Every passing time is a dying time. I spent about 1 hour 30 minutes in this class already today. What that means is that 1 hour 30 minutes of your life is dead and gone, and you can never recover it again. The question is it a good way to die? You know, every time you ask us a question, is this thing worth dying for? Is this thing worth dying for? But we don't interpret that statement in its literal way, because in reality, it's a literal statement. That this class that we are in, is it worth dying for? Because either you like it or not, you are dying. So the question is this a good way to die? You know, somebody put it this way, that if you waste your own time, you are committing suicide. But if you waste other people's time, you are committing murder. I hope that I've not murdered some people here today, because I don't want to be a murderer, right? But the question is, for you being here too, are you also not committing suicide? Because the true test of whether you are living properly or not is the quality of things that are coming into your life to replenish the remaining portion of your life. I call it the concept of life for life. That, oh, as I am dying, the things that I'm gaining are also replenishing and improving the quality of my life. It is unfortunate that a lot of people that are dying on a daily basis, yet the remaining part of their life are not being improved. Right? They are dying, but yet they can see that the remaining part is better. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So the true test of the fact that you are living properly is that for every passing time, the remainder of your life is being replenished, and you can say for fact that yes, my life is getting better, even as I am dying. When people are saying, let's go and do this, the question that should be on your mind is this thing worth dying for? Because even as you are setting your goals, right, and you understand that your goals will take your time, you also need to ask yourself the question, is this goal worth dying for? If it is not worth dying for, then there is no need having such a thing on your outline of goals. Right. So that is the first thing that we need to understand when it comes to time. That time is a currency that we use in purchasing on getting every other thing that we want or need in this life. Right. Another thing that we need to understand with time is that instead of using instead of using our time to buy money, what we should learn how to do is to use money to buy time. Right. So let me give a very good example. Right. So somebody decides to start an organization as a one-man person. And then he discovers that, oh, I only have 8 hours working day in a day. So what that means is that if in my 8 hours, I can only produce the result that will reward me with 50,000 naira. And my desire is to be able to make more money. What this person begins to think of is that, oh, so for me to make more money, I need more time. Therefore, the person begins to ask, where am I going to get more time from? They then begin to buy other people's time. So an organization hires 10 people, right? What they have simply done is that they have increased their time allocation for a day from 8 hours to 80 hours, because now they have 8 hours of 10 people. What they have done is that they have used money to buy time. Now, there are a lot of us, by virtue of the volume of work that we need to do, we don't have business doing some things again in this life. You don't have business driving yourself. You don't have business doing your laundry. You don't have business washing your car. You don't have business doing this. You don't have business doing your house chores. You don't have business doing a lot of things. But yet, because you are looking at it, I will now pay somebody to wash my face. But the question is, how much do they wash one shirt? Maybe you wash a shirt for like 250, 300 naira. But how much time will you spend washing that one shirt? Now, let's say you are going to spend 20 minutes. The question is, are you trying to tell me that your 20 minutes is only worth 250 naira? That you cannot produce results that is more than 250 naira in 20 minutes. That is why you would rather buy that 250 naira with 20 minutes. So the question is, will you buy the 250 naira with 20 minutes, or will you buy the 20 minutes back with 250 naira? Which one will be more rewarding for you as a person? Bearing in mind that there are some things that you can never ask people to do for you, that you have to be the one to do by yourself. And the more time you have for these things, the more results you are able to achieve relative to execution on your goals. So one of the things I say to people is that we all need to learn at what point to begin to buy time with the little money that you have. You don't need to have all of the money. Why you notice that, see, the organizations that grow are the organizations that keep bringing people in, because the more people they bring in, the more they scale and grow. The more people they bring in, the more they scale and grow. But there are some organizations, they don't want to grow. I mean, they want to grow, yet they don't want to spend money. So they keep remaining on one spot. Somebody's asking a question that, what if we set a personal goal that will be of benefit to the company, but they tend to display an accomplished attitude? How can we get more people to help without wasting much time? So I don't quite understand this question that Jason is asking, but Jason, you know what? Please just send that question in about 10 or 15 minutes. We are going to have questions, and then you are going to actually ask it properly so that I'm going to understand you. But before then, let me just quickly wrap up on the things I'm talking about. So when it comes to time management, the next thing that we need to understand is the nature of tasks. The nature of tasks, right? So, and I'm going to be telling us about the different types of tasks that we have. The first one that you probably know about will be what is called the urgent task and not so urgent task. Important and not important. The next step that you probably don't know before that I want to add to it will be project-based tasks and daily routine tasks. So let me go through the 6 different types of tasks that we have, that we go through on a daily basis so you can understand it. The first one is urgent tasks. The second one is not so urgent tasks. The next one is important tasks. The next one is not so important tasks. The 5th one is daily routine tasks. And then the 6th one is the project-based tasks. Now, let me explain the difference between all of those things to us. Urgency is a measure of time. So there's something that needs to be done, and then, we just have to do it because the time has lapsed. Now, everything that is urgency is just a question of time. Time. Do it now, do it now, do it time, because the time you're ready to do it has passed already. So you have to kill every other thing in order to get it done now, right? So let's assume that they say we should be wearing masks and be washing our hands and all of those things. I took liberty for stadium and I did not do anything about it. And now I have COVID-19. Now, at this point, COVID-19 treatment has become a matter of urgency, because if I don't do the things I need to do now, I'll probably die finally, right? But at the time where they say cover your nose, wash your hands, all of those things are not urgent, right? They don't come with a sense of urgency, because why? They are just important. So important stuff are the things that we need to do that will give our life meaning. Important stuff are the things that when we engage in, they move the needle of our life forward. Exercise is important. It is not urgent. So a lot of people don't do it because, hey, it doesn't come with a sense of urgency. If we don't do it now, nobody will die. Urgency gives a sense of if we don't do it now, everything will fall apart. So a lot of people find themselves living their lives within this framework of urgency. And you know, they developed addiction to playing within the scope of urgency because they like the feel of, hey, something is falling, let's quickly carry it. Before they finish carrying this one, oh, let's carry this one. They don't know how to live a life of peace. Their life is so chaotic and it has become really, addictive to them, that when somebody is now trying to tell them to slow down and become masters of their time and their task, they are telling you it's not possible. Why? Because they mastered how to live in urgency. Now, but that is not the best way to live. Because if you keep living your life that way, you would forever be in a chaotic life. You will be stressed, you will be overwhelmed, and it will look as though you don't have time to live life. Right? So that is the way to look at it. That's the difference in urgency. So urgency is a question of time. Now, one of the things I like to say to people is that by design, nothing in this life is meant to be urgent. The reason why we come to the point where things are urgent is because they were not done at the time they were meant to be done. So because they were not done, they became urgent. So if we form the habit of doing things at the right time, our life will not be chaotic because there will be nothing urgent in this life. Right? That is one thing that we need to understand. Now, the next thing that we also need to understand is importance. So I've spoken about urgency and not urgent. I've spoken about important and not important. Right. The next one then is project-based tasks and daily routine tasks. So daily routine tasks are those things that when we engage in, they keep our life steady. So let me use an analogy of somebody swimming. Daily routine tasks keep us floating. Project-based tasks keeps us swimming. Now, one thing that you will discover is that there is no way you can swim without floating, right? And there is also no way you can float in perpetuity. At some point, if you are not swimming, you start sinking because your limbs will be tired of floating and you start swimming. So what that means is that we are meant to have an even balance between, your daily routine tasks and your project-based tasks. So like I said, project-based tasks are those things that move our life forward. Specific projects that you have taken ownership of. Oh, I want to lose weight. That is a project, right? Oh, I want to gain weight. That is a project. Oh, I want to learn financial management. That is a project. Oh, I want to, what else is there? I want to improve the quality of my relationship with my father. That is a project, right? Those are specific things that you are taking responsibility for. But take for instance, I want to go to market. That is a daily routine task. I want to cook food. That is a daily routine task. I want to sleep. That is a daily routine task. So for different things, our job is to first of all draw a line of distinction between what daily routine tasks are and what project-based tasks are. Now, when we are able to do that, we are then able to sit down and create what I call a time map. A time map is that document that shows you exactly how you have created time blocks for your project-based tasks. Let me say this way. Project-based tasks will not be done if you don't intentionally create time for them, right? Project-based tasks will not be done if you don't intentionally create time for them. So you need to look at Monday to Saturday and say, okay, on Friday between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m., I want to dedicate it to reading, and nothing will change it. That is you locking that time for that project-based task. Or else you just gloss through your day without achieving that result. So when it comes to execution on projects, right, it is important that we lock it in. We lock it in into specific of time. We lock it in into specific of time and all of those things. So, right, that is when it comes to, so you create your time map, which is a document that shows you, how you have decided to use your time. Not a to-do list. A to-do list is simply a list of the things you want to do in a particular day. A time map is a dashboard that shows you how you want to spend your time over an extended period of time. What you notice is that from your project-based stuff, there are some things that you commit to doing on a daily basis. There are some things you commit to doing on a weekly basis. There are some things that you just be doing once a month. But the moment you do those things that way, your life begins to find its balance, and then you are able to gloss through things in a strategic and in a progressive way. As they get, life just happens to you. You are the one that is in the driver's seat of your life, where you are converting the goals that you have set into achievable steps through your time map. So the final thing I want to share with us before we start taking the question and answer is what I call a goal planner document. A goal planner document. A goal planner document, right? So I'm going to describe what it looks like, and everybody's going to draw it. And maybe I'm going to share a template with Agogo after this class so that I can then share it with everybody. I'm hoping that in a couple of weeks from now, a journal, so I'm working on a planner called the Focused Life Planner, right? Which all of these things I'm speaking about, the time map and all of those things are in that document, and you can easily use this document, this journal or this planner to plan for an entire quarter. So it's a quarterly planner. By the time it comes out, I'm sure maybe Agogo will let us know for people that are interested. But beyond that, after this class, I'm going to be sharing the goal planner template with him so that he can broadcast it to everybody. But generally, this is what it looks like. Let me explain what the goal planner looks like once you find it, when you get it. Now, on the first column in your goal planner is where you have your goals outlined. Remember, what you're writing here would be the end goal for each of the areas of life that we have identified. So you're going to write your significant goal, your financial goal, your career goal, relationship goal, fun and recreational goal, health and fitness goal, personal development goal. You put out the goals in the first column. Now, in the second column, what you find there is the outline of activities of what I call the means goal. Outline of activities or means goal. So for each of the end goals that you have written here, there will be like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 activities that you would have to carry out for you to achieve those goals. So, say for instance, let's say for my personal development goal, my end goal for this year is to increase my knowledge of financial management, right? An activity will be, first of all, to do a research around platforms where I can learn. Number 2 can be sign up for a financial management course. Number 3 can be buy financial intelligence books. Number 4 can be join a community of people that are given to investment. Number 5 can be, so you come up with different activities based on our explanation of means goals earlier, right? So you list out all of the means goals or activities for each of the goal cluster. Now, the next column then speaks to capacity or competency. Now, for each of these goals that you have written and the end goals, what are the competencies that you need to have, right? A lot of us, the reason why is because there is a competency gap. There is a competency gap. I want to become the greatest author in this world, yet I don't know how to write. That is a competency gap, right? So what are the competencies required for you to achieve these activities? For me, one of the competencies that I need to build right now is digital marketing or online promotions and all of these things, right? Or social media marketing, as the case may be. That is the competency. You need to identify the competencies that you need, right? The competencies that you need. The next column then speaks to, right? The next column then speaks to resources. Resources here talks about the resources here can be money, can be knowledge, can be whatever it is. What are the resources that you need? Can be items, whatever it is that you need. What are the resources that you need? For some, it can be books. For some, the resources can be a phone that can take mad picture. If your goal is to increase your visibility, for some people, the resources can be to buy a camera, whatever the resources is. You need to identify what are the resources I need to be able to achieve these goals, right? The next thing is collaboration. Who are the people I need to collaborate with to achieve this goal? Collaboration can be in form of a senior person that is going to mentor you or coach you. Collaboration can be in terms of your friend that you can work with to get that done. Collaboration can be anything, but the question here is, who are the people that you need to collaborate with? Collaboration here can even come by way of accountability. Who are the people you want to share your goals with and say, okay, you know what, on this one, let us hold ourselves accountable. What are you trying to achieve? What am I trying to achieve? And please, when it comes to collaboration and accountability, ensure to set it in a way that it is going to be painful to you. That if you don't achieve your goal, what are you going to lose? When you achieve your goal, what are you going to gain? Something like that. You need to put it there, right? Collaboration. So in that place, it's collaboration and accountability that you're putting there. And then the final part of your table or of this goal planner is your enabler. What are the enablers that you need to bring into your space, right? What are the enablers that you need to bring into your space? What are the enablers that you need to bring into your space? By the time you sit down to fill this table, what you have done is that you have finished the 80% of work. You have done the 20% of work that will produce the 80% of the result. All that you then need to do will be to continue to follow what you have broken down into your goal planner on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, as the case may be. When you follow it this way, it becomes easy for you to translate, your end goal into means goal, break it down into means goals, and then they ultimately become achievable, where you now know that you have executed. Now, on the final note, right, when it comes to it is fun for me to do all of these things and I will still not move a muscle. And why is that? Because all of these things is hinged on motivation. So there are three things that revolve together that ensures that we achieve our goal. Number one is clarity. What we have done so far by using our goal planner is to get clarity. Number two is competency. By using your goal planner and you have identified, the means goal or the competencies that you need, you are able to go ahead and get the competencies that you need to support your clarity. The third thing that comes into the mix is motivation. Why is it important for you to achieve that goal as a person? If you don't achieve it, what will happen? If you don't achieve it, what will happen? If you achieve it, what do you stand to gain? If you don't achieve it, what do you stand to lose? When these things are clear to you, then you remember that, oh, this is why, I want to achieve this goal. It keeps you driven, it keeps you motivated, and then your momentum is always high. You go to some people's office and you see the picture of their family on their table, and you are wondering that, oh, is it that they love their family that much? For majority of these people, the picture under their table is their motivation. I call it their performance trigger, such that, let's say life is happening to them and they want to give up. The moment they see the picture of their wife and their beautiful children, no, because of these people, I cannot afford to fail. And then they just start grinding it again. They just start grinding it again. I will be lying to you if I tell you that life will not happen. I will be lying to you if I tell you that you're not going to hit the rock bottom, even with the best laid plan. But what would keep you going, what would help you refire again, would be if your goal, if your motivation is clear to you. Why do you wake up every morning? Why do you want to do that stuff that you want to do? Who is it going to benefit? How is it going to benefit you? What pain are you going to feel when you have not been able to achieve it? When all of these things is clear to you, it becomes a lot more easier for you to convert your goals that you are properly set into executed results. And then from that point, you can begin to celebrate and enjoy yourself. At this point, I've come to the end of my presentation. I hope we've learned one or two things, right? And I think at this point, you can begin to take questions. But before I take the two, so there are two questions here already. Before I take it, I want to, so anybody wants to share with us what they've learned so far? Anybody? If you want to share with us in 2 minutes what you've learned so far, please unmute yourself and share with us. Anybody wants to share with us what they've learned so far? Anybody?
Mr. David.
Yes, please.
Yeah, Mr. David, can I speak?
Yes, please, you can go ahead.
Yes, you said something that to me is very valuable, and that is you can always make more money, but you cannot always make more time. That is a strong statement that I'm taking home from this teaching. Time. But time can be bought with money, like you later said.
Exactly.
But you cannot always make more time. I think in my lecture today concerning goal setting, I have realized that in setting my goals, I can, while planning and achieving the goals, make more money, but I cannot make more time. But I can use the money that is presently owned to buy time. Yeah, I appreciate that.
That way you can now achieve so much more.
Exactly.
That what would have taken you 5 years to achieve, you can achieve it in 1 year because you have learned how to leverage other people's time.
Exactly. So in this making more money to buy more time, making money seems definite.
Yeah.
Coming back to our definition of goal, like you said, it must be a definite thing.
Exactly.
And time here isn't definite. Meanwhile, in the definition, we said the goal must be definite and within a particular period of time. A specific time. So yeah, time, money is definite, and time isn't definite.
Because you don't know when your time on this world will elapse. So the only thing that you have is to make the best of the one that is allocated to you per time.
then are we right to now say that when we make goal within a particular period of time, we might not be exactly right in that statement?
Oh, well, the truth of the matter is that, so you are only setting goals for a specific time based on hopes and aspiration that if God willing, you are still alive till that time.
Okay. So there is still uncertainty when you're setting goal. Going by this, your definition.
Exactly.
All right, thank you.
The
Thank
only
you so
thing,
much.
that's what I'm saying. That the only thing you are certain about is the activities that you will deploy in the time that you have right now.
Good. All right.
So even though I know that the timeline I'm giving myself is December 31st, 2021, I am not 100% sure that I'm going to be here till December 31st, 2021. So the one that I have now, let me use it in the most judicious way to achieve the best of results so that I can at least say that I collapse time for myself as much as possible.
Thank you, Mr. David. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Tiger, for that. Yes. Okay, so somebody says what I learned is on the part of accomplish. It's not accomplish. Accomplish. Somebody can type that for me. Accomplish. You know when they say they charge you to a law court and they say this person accomplish. Accomplish. ACCOMPLICES. Accomplish. Yeah, so it's not accomplish, it is accomplish. ACCOMPLICES. Accomplish. Right. So remember, the more accomplices you have, the more difficult it becomes for you to achieve your goal. The more enablers you have, the easier it becomes for you to achieve your goals. Right. Thank you so much, Tiger, for typing that out for me. Right. So there are two questions here that I want to take quickly. Somebody say so Jason, can you please ask your question? I want to hear it because I don't quite understand it. Jason. Is Jason there or Jason is out? I think Jason is out. Okay, although I can still see him there, but sometimes he does log in and then, life will take them away. So again, like I said, it's always a dying time. The question is this a good way to die? Are you getting value from me and getting from another place at the same time? There's one concept of time management I don't touch today, which is the concept of multitasking. A number of times, people say they are multitasking, but what you don't realize is that you're wasting time. Because multitasking is a sham. There is no way your mind can process two information together at the same time. It's not possible. The life, God did not design that way. You can only process things in succession. The only thing you can do is that you can do okay, so let me give an example. I want to cook, right? I want to cook. I cannot be cooking, I cannot be picking my beans and be picking the vegetable at the same time. I can only pick the beans first and pick the vegetable later. The only thing I can do is to pick the beans, put the beans on fire, such that when the beans is completing its own natural cycle, I can now use that time to do something else. That is what people call multitasking is understanding the things that you have to do that can complete their own cycle by themselves. Whilst you jumpstart them, they continue running their own time, and then you quickly go and get some other things done. But it's not possible for you to be doing two things that are depending on you together at the same time. What will happen is that you lose out on one or you lose out on both. So somebody's here, we're having a session and they're still trying to do something. Maybe it is the time that you want to do something, right? That something valuable we said there, you miss out on it. And then you now come back here to catch up. Maybe it is when you are catching up here that the other thing you are also trying to do is valuable and you miss out on it. So one of the things I say to people when it comes to getting work done and getting good work done is understanding the fact that multitasking is a sham. There's nothing like multitasking. The only thing you can do is understand the things that you have to do and see the ones that when you jumpstart them, they can complete their own cycle by themselves so that whilst they are working naturally, you can go and get some other things done. So I'm trying to download a document. Whilst that document is downloading, I can always go and be doing something else. That is a process that can complete itself the moment I jumpstart it. Email at the same time, it is not possible. There are not processes that can run naturally by themselves because there are things that have to be involved in from start to finish. So the moment you notice that, please, the things that you have to do from start to finish, find a way to block time for them and focus on them so that you are sure that you are giving yourself 100%. Or else you come back and redo and redo and redo and redo. And that way you are wasting more time that way. Right. Okay, so please, there is a feedback form shared by Agogo. Please take time to fill it up. So somebody says, what if, okay, I think that was the one we were trying to ask Jason to clarify for us, but it wasn't available. Somebody says, can you explain if there is any significant difference between objective, goals, and mission? The difference between objective, goals, and mission. The truth of the matter is that, see, sometimes I try to take clear of this usage because at the end of the day, the one that is most important for us to understand is the difference between means goals and end goal, means goals and end goal, means goals and end goal. Means goal is the steps that will take you to the end goal. The moment you break them down, you are sure that you follow them through to get your end goal. Oftentimes, I know this concept of missions and objectives, people commix them and then they become really confusing for people. And that is why for my own class, I've decided to simplify everything, whatever it is, to end goals and means goals, end goals and means goals. So please let us try and stick to that for the purpose of clarity and understanding. So somebody says our time is not always enough because we have placed ourselves under specific time for doing something. Otherwise, time is always enough, but we are not. Exactly. See, for me, let me start a very good example, and I'm going to end with this. So there is this particular lady in Canada that we started a coaching relationship a couple of weeks, and then she's always complaining, oh, my schedule is so tight, I don't have time. So I said, you know what, this is what we're going to do. There's this thing I call time tracking. A lot of us, we don't even know how we spend our time. The same time, we don't know how we spend our money. If I call somebody now and say, okay, can you give me a breakdown of the things you have done today? Most people cannot, even though we are just at 2 o'clock. So a lot of people cannot account for their time, and somehow they feel like it's wasted time. I mean, that they don't have time. Whereas it's not the case that you don't have time, it's the case that you are misusing your time. So I said to this lady, can you give me a list of your schedule, the things that naturally take your time on a daily basis? She came with a long list of about 15 things. And then in one of our sessions, I sat down with her and I was asking her, okay, for this particular one, how does it impact on your life directly? By the time she finished, she was unable to identify an exact way that particular responsibility was beneficial to her as a person. The next one, no direct benefit. The third one, no direct benefit. The fifth one, no direct benefit. What we discovered at the end of the day was that this lady has taken up responsibilities that she has no business taking up completely, right? Now, there is this insect in Yoruba we call Airigishegu that every time it sees a piece of wood, it breaks it and puts on its own head. So much so that this insect is carrying so much load that we are no longer seeing the insect. That is the way the majority of us are living our life. We are carrying so much load, right? We are carrying so much load that it has become impossible for us to now focus on the things that are ours. We are taking up other people's responsibilities, other people's assignments and agenda, so much so that we don't have time for the things that are now important to us as a person. See, it is time for you to become selfish with your time. The reason is simple. You don't know how much of time you have left on this planet. And it is not the responsibility of others that you carry that will count. It is your own responsibility that you carry and you make good of that will count for you at the end of the day. Right? So a lot of people, right, they have developed satisfaction in being the Messiah for other people, whereas they don't see anybody that is willing to sacrifice themselves for their own dream. Yet they are sacrificing themselves for other people's dreams. Now is the time for you to take your life back. See, a lot of us, the way our life is going, we are not the one running the life. It is our life that is running us. Right? You are not the one in control at all. Life is just falling on you, and you are just playing catch up with your life. That is not a good place to be. Instead of you playing catch up with your life, it is your life that should be catching up with you, so to speak. Right? You should be steps ahead of what will happen, and not the other way that you are the one trying to what exactly happened in my life, what exactly happened in my life. So the moment people begin to say, I don't have time, the question I want to quickly ask them is that, are you sure you are the one in charge of your life? Can you do this for me for the next 2 weeks? Simply clock in at every 1 hour what you did in the past 1 hour. And afterwards, go and check what is taking the bulk of your time. Can you say that those things that are taking the bulk of your time are the things that are mostly rewarding for you as a person? Or are they things that you should take out of your time? See, it's okay for you to go and meet people and say, see, I have been there for you since this year, but now I need to be there for myself. I need to be there for my goals, right? See, the reason why some of us find it easy to work in other people's goals is because those other people, they have clarified it. They've sat down to define their goals. They've clarified it. So they are only giving us specific instructions as to what to do. So we find it easier to work in other people. But when we come to our own, we feel overwhelmed because we have not taken time to clarify. And when there is no clarity, execution is impossible. So what you need to do, the same way the people you are slaving yourself for are able to articulate the things they want you to do, that is the same way you should be able to articulate what you need to do for yourself to yourself. Right? Does that make sense? So please, never say that you don't have time, because it's that same 24 hours that Dangote is using to make all the money he's making anyway. And that is the same 24 hours that all the billionaires of this world are using. So how come you are using that same 24 hours and you are not getting the same result? Right. The final question here is that, is there anything worth dying for in this life, or is the expression was used figuratively? Okay, I think that question came from let me see who, Olusegun Oladujoye. The answer to your question is yes. There are things that are worth dying for in this life, and there are things that are not worth dying for. If I don't think that this program, I will be sleeping on my bed, it's better for me to be sleeping on my bed, so that I know that when the thing that requires me dying comes, I have enough energy to show up for it. Right? Because see, so a friend says I should come and follow him to a certain place. In my head, I'm asking myself, to what end? If I don't follow him, what will happen? Will he fail grossly if I don't follow him? Okay, if I notice that this person will fail grossly, okay, so this person will interpret my going as a support. Now, is that friend valuable enough for me to give 2, 3 hours of my life to? Because see, let me be brutally honest with us. Let's say that by biblical standards, pardon that I'm using that says that the average lifespan, life expectancy ratio of anybody in Nigeria, whatever, is 70 years. So if the average life expectancy ratio of a Nigerian person is 70 years, what that means is that if you're on this call and you are 35 years old, 50% of your life is dead. If you are 40, that means about 60% of your life is dead. If you are 70, that means about 70% of your life is dead. That means what you have left is just about 30% or 40%. So, and you are asking the remaining one, you must be able to account for it. And that is why when people are celebrating that they are getting old, they are growing old, they are growing old, they are growing old. In my mind, I'm saying as you are olding, please recognize that you are also minoring. As you are doing addition, you are also subtracting. You are adding the one that you have used, you are subtracting from the one that is left. And with that consciousness, it becomes a lot more clear for us when we are thinking about the things that we really want to invest our time in, right? Relative to the goal that we want to achieve. Because at the end of the day, this year would come to an end. Another portion of your life would have died. But the question is, would you say that by virtue of the way the entirety of this year was gone, that the remaining part of your life became better? Did you improve the quality of the remaining part? Did you achieve the goals that you have set for yourself? And then can you say that you are making progress and you are really growing? At this point, I would like to bring this class to an end. Thank you so much for Agogo, please, over to you.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. David. That was quite an explosive. Want to immediately apply. Now, I want to use the opportunity to encourage each and everyone who have attended this class. And there's a rule we say in training: when you attend a training session and you don't apply immediately what you have learned in the next 24 or maximum 48 hours, you lose everything.
It is.
Yeah, you lose everything. So you see people, they are excited. Wow, that training is wonderful. Wow, I learned a lot. But if you don't put anything into practice in the next 24 hours, it will just become another nice event. So it is on this background that I want to encourage all our participants. Look, you don't need to learn everything. If there's one thing that you have picked that you can quickly implement, which will significantly improve the quality of your life, that will be a big plus to you. And so beyond just training, during when Mr. David was speaking at the initial time when he began this training, he talked about end goal and the means goal. And one of our main end goal is to see that people are able to set goal and achieve that goal. And one of the ways we'll do this is to track how, that is after this training, in let's say about 1 month time, we are going to send a post-assessment form that you will fill. And when you fill it, is to tell us, to give us a feedback. Oh, this training that you attended, have you been able to set goal now? How many of them have you been able to execute? Because we are trying to find out if this training really affected your life in a tangible way that we can see. And if not, we'll be asking ourselves, what did you do right or what did we do wrong, so that we can improve on our training subsequently? Or is it the problem from your end, and all that. So we are not just ending, we are not just having a training, having a nice time, then it ends there. We'll also follow up with a post-assessment. So I want to encourage each and every one of you, please, when the post-assessment comes, please take time to fill it. We'll try and send it maybe 1 month after today to find out how we are doing.
I'm also going to be sharing the goal planner document with you now. Agogo.
Oh,
so
that's
you can
beautiful.
share with them so
That's
that they can actually use that to plan to break down their.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much. So I will encourage, for those who have not said that, we strongly recommend that you do that now, because when you get busy and life keep on happening to you, you'll find out that you won't set any goal, and this will be like a repetition of next year, which I'm sure nobody wants. The feedback is already on the comment section. Please do well to complete the feedback so that we can send your certificates and your the recorded session. It will give you opportunity to always go back to it over and over again to pick up some things that maybe you didn't catch up during the training session. We also encourage you to, tell us about how you have, one of two things that you have learned from this training on your social media, and tag us, tag KEC Nigeria on your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Instagram. Please tag us, and we'll be happy that you did. So I want to use the opportunity to thank everyone for showing up in this training. I hope this training was worth your time. Please, I want you to say something in the comment about let's just have some few feedback before we wrap this up for today. Please, just give us your feedback, just a little feedback. We can hear from just 2 or 3 people. We don't need to hear from everyone because our time is fast spent, so that we could kind of get a sense of how this training has gone so far. So you can just put something on the comment section. What's your feedback? What do you think about training? Is this something that you have not learned before that will be a big contribution in your both personal life and even your. Oh, okay. Olusegun say the training added value to me. That's awesome. That's good to hear. Any other comment? Any comment, any question, any concern, whatever it is, let's have it here. Okay, a wake-up call. That's right. Wake-up call. I mean, there was somebody I was speaking to not too long. The person started setting her goals in November last year, 2020. The person has set all her goals for 2021. Can you imagine that? So if you have not set your goal, come on, it's almost too late. But like they say, there are 2 best times to plant a crop, a palm tree, 20 years ago and today. So if you missed it some years ago, just like the parable say, you can start now. It's not too late. So please, let's avoid that procrastination and do our goal setting this week. Okay, thank you very much for your time. I want to really thank David Boluwatife for giving his time. And for this, he's always there to help and support and share his knowledge. Thank you very much once again, David Boluwatife. I'll be expecting the goal setting planner. The goal setting planner will be shared to everyone. Once you just fill your feedback form, we'll send it to one and also your certificate. I will be happy to get back to you. Thank you very much, and I wish every weekend. Please stay safe and put on your mask. Make sure you maintain a social distance and be very careful. I pray that God will throughout this year. Do have a blessed day.